the finest topsoil, compost, and leaf humus around for your garden. 18 varieties of decorative stones, 7 colors of mulch, and they do deliver. 2 locations to serve you. Find out more at FickLandscapeSupplies.com and like them on Facebook. Now let's get Fick and busy in the garden. Saginaw police say it was their canine sniffing skills that led them to the discovery of live pipe bombs Monday inside an abandoned truck that had been hauled to a record service on Hess Avenue. The explosives believed to have been abandoned at a West Side Saginaw residence back in March. Those devices later safely deactivated and destroyed. That incident remains under investigation. It's been a policy shift made by the Trump administration regarding COVID-19 vaccinations. FDA officials now say that they're going to continue to use a streamlined approach that makes COVID vaccines available to adults age 65 and older, along with children and younger adults who have at least one health issue that makes them a higher risk. But companies are being urged to conduct large studies before tweaked vaccines are approved for healthier folks. Home Depot announcing Monday it does not have any immediate plans to raise prices in response to the Trump tariffs, as some other retailers have done. Tigers pulling out a win over the St. Louis Cardinals in St. Louis last night, 5-4. Great Lakes Loons are going to be in action this morning. In fact, in about 4 hours, they're going to be first pitching it on the road against the West Michigan Whitecaps. That went over in Comstock Park in the Grand Rapids area. And to cap this one off, the FDA announcing the recall of cucumbers that could pose a salmonella threat. A Florida grower voluntarily recalled those cucumbers that were sold to a wholesaler distributor identified as Fresh Start Produce Sales. And there have been at least 26 illnesses reported over 15 states, including here in Michigan. 9 of those affected were hospitalized. That's 5 things you should know from 103.9 The Fox. Showers, possibility of some patchy fog developing also from late morning into the midday hours. Temperatures expected to only reach around 53 degrees today, with northeast winds at 10 gusting to about 21 miles an hour. We're likely to get more showers tonight with a return of some patchy fog overnight. Lows down around 47. Tomorrow expect more fog appearing right around the conclusion of your morning commute, and cloudy skies for the most part otherwise, about 54. Friday, we wrap up the work week under generally cloudy skies and some showers possible, 55. Right now it's 49 in Flint, and in Saginaw also 49.
You ready for some fossilized lightning hunts this summer?
Why not?
Michigan, we have them in Michigan. I'll explain next.
Yes, he'll explain what that's all about. Hey, good morning. Welcome to our simul stream. We are here on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitch for getting together and getting through the first hour or so of this Wednesday morning, 21st of May. It is National Waitstaff Day, National Waiters, Waitresses Day, National Service Day, call it that if you'd like to. So if you do have plans to go out for a meal today, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, make sure that your server is tipped extra generously today if you at all can. How you guys doing? Most, again, are showing up on YouTube. Get started with the day. Rob Suka, good afternoon to you. Also, Chris is here. It is a New Mexico morning in, Deming, where Chris is. Good morning to Chris. Canada Dan is here. Good morning, Canada Dan. Go Oilers. That's about all that's left for you guys. Tina here. Good morning, New Jersey. Also, Dale here, Arizona representative. Good morning to Arizona and to California, as Eric has joined us. Good morning, Eric. Everybody right now is gathered on YouTube, so I don't have to worry about relaying messages, at least for the start of this morning, because everybody is in the same spot. So if you happen to be here, of course, anytime that you're on YouTube, remember to like and subscribe. We're continuing to grow our audience here, one viewer at a time. About every 3 or 4 days, we end up picking up a new one. So we're going to get into that in just a few minutes. This is a good day because today we get a chance in about 25 minutes to visit with a 4-legged friend who is looking for a new home. This is the 4th Wednesday of the month, and on the 4th Wednesday of the month, we have our friends from the Genesee County Animal Control showing up with a dog or cat that's looking for a new home, sometimes more than one, and we'll take a look and see if maybe you'd like to have one, you know? Steph is right now fostering a dog that came from there, so I'm sure they'll be able to catch up and have some notes taken on exactly what has happened since Steph had the first opportunity to get this new dog, and happened on the very first night when we had all those storms last week that people are still digging out from. last Thursday night / Friday morning. We had those, and that was the first night that she was fostering this dog. Okay, let's get underway here with this day. Speaking of dogs, I'll tell you about Jacko. I had him out yesterday for a little bit, and he actually was double complimented by somebody. I was shocked when I heard that. I was absolutely shocked when that came up. Dale's going to be going to a graduation today. It's 2:02 in the afternoon in Finland. I don't know what kind of weather you have. I just stepped outside into what's very, very cold, drizzly kind of stuff right here. It's only 49 Fahrenheit. Feels a bit colder than that. And it's just not going to get much warmer than that. 53 or 54 degrees today. And it's just kind of a drizzly, yucky kind of day this morning. But we do have, now that I'm thinking about it, I probably should make sure that the studio is accessible for when we get our friends from the Genesee County Animal Control Office in a few minutes. And actually, I have to go there because I have to get Jacko a license, make him all kinds of legal around here. Let's see. Okay, get in there. Let's see here. There we go. It's slow coming up today. Where are you there? Where are you, studio? Where are you, studio? There they are. Boy, again, it's slow coming up. And I guess from what Steph had said, her daughter's coming in this morning also because she wants to see and hang around with the animal or animals, whatever comes in.
Doesn't do anything special. There's no like lead guitar or anything in there.
I know, but it's bagpipes.
Yeah, but I've had enough of it.
Bagpipes.
AC/DC, long way to the top of you if you want to rock and roll. These idiots that escaped this jail, it just cracks me up.
Yes.
This happened in New Orleans, for those of you not familiar. And by the way, for the first 3 days we were told it was 11 inmates. Now we're being told it was 10. I don't know how the hell they miscounted that. These guys were gone for like 8 or 9 hours before anybody noticed them missing.
I know, right?
And where were they? Still there. They're getting caught around New Orleans, and I'm thinking, well, why the hell would you do that? First of all, New Orleans has cameras everywhere.
Of course.
Most cities do, but
Sure.
New Orleans even more so. 2 of them got caught on Bourbon Street, but
Shut
facial
up.
recognition technology that caught them
Idiots.
wandering down Bourbon Street.
How many beads were they wearing? Were they wearing beans?
What is wrong with you? One of them was a 19-year-old, so you kind of figure
there
the
you go.
stupidity there, all right? He got caught. There's still some, I believe, on the loose there, and it all started with a maintenance worker, according to the maintenance worker, who was threatened to help them. They removed a toilet from a wall after the maintenance worker shut the water off, and then they went through the hole in the wall there, and there's great video of them running out the back door of the prison. But, why they would stick around in New Orleans?
I don't know.
First thing I would do, go to Mexico.
Yeah, you're that close.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Or Canada, if you want to make the long way home.
Sure.
You go all the way up to Canada where you might not be as recognized. But I'm thinking this is about the dumbest bunch of people ever to escape from a jail. But there have been other stupidity. Stupid.
I just can't believe that 10 people left the jail and no one noticed.
They didn't because of the bed check or something. It was the timing, but still.
Yeah.
You would think there would be even bed checks throughout the night.
Well, aren't there dogs and, sniper towers and...
Yeah. I don't know in this particular prison what the situation was, but yeah.
Huh.
In most cases, sure. All right, so anyway.
How bad do you want to escape jail to go down through the toilet hole?
Well, it was, they pulled the whole toilet off the wall. Behind the toilet, it was a big, maybe about I'd say 1.5 to 2 foot wide, 3 foot high opening.
Oh, see, I have them pictured going out through sewage.
No.
Okay.
Apparently they took the toilet off the wall and there was this behind
Okay, now I
way
get
to
it.
get out.
Okay.
So,
They did look remarkably clean as they left jail.
yeah, there wasn't any poop hanging off of them, no. It is 7:09 here in the Foxhole right now, 9 minutes after the top of the hour. I think that's just a great story. It's a story that's going to be a movie, I would imagine.
Oh, I'm sure.
At least,
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Exactly. Hey, a Lake Michigan business has captured lightning in a bottle. Almost. Sort of.
Okay, please explain.
It's the Macwood Dune Ride team that unearthed what they call a fulgurite. Fulgurite, fulgurite, which is a piece of fossilized lightning. They were prepping their trails this spring, and fulgurites are natural tubes of glass that are formed when lightning strikes sand.
Oh.
And the Silver Lake sand dunes are one of the rare areas where fulgurites apparently are known to be found. And the family of Macwood have become local experts on the scientific spectacles known as fulgurites.
Oh, now I want to go.
Yeah.
I want to go look for some.
Wouldn't it be neat to have one?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one here is, I read it somewhere else. It's not in this story, but I think it's like about a couple feet long.
Really?
Yeah.
So they're almost like crystals.
Sort of, but I think they're hollow, the way it's described here. Let me see what it says. Natural tubes of glass that are formed when lightning strikes.
How pretty. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I've never seen one that I know of. I'm sure we can find them online. But
Where in Michigan?
this was at Silver Lake.
Okay.
Silver Lake Sand Dunes.
Oh, that's one of my favorite spots in Michigan anyway.
It was the Macwood Dune Ride team that unearthed this.
Okay.
So there you have it. It is 7-Eleven here. Be a hero at work with the Fox.
Well, I guess Royal Rachel's getting no alerts over there, and she's on with us in YouTube territory this morning. Royal Rachel, good morning to you and to Boss Lady from Alabama. We are welcoming you ladies also to National Servers Day, which causes me to want to, again, quiz Finland on what happens in that country. We know how it goes over here when it comes to tipping with our waitresses and waiters.
Of course, if it is you and you're registered, we're going to give you a chance here in less than 10 minutes to do that. You're going to want to hear your name called out, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Make sure you got good hearing then, okay? Professional hearing.
How does it happen and how does it work in Finland? Do you guys tip your people who serve you at the restaurants? Is there a tipping policy over there? And if so, how much do you tip? Johnny and I were talking about that really early this morning. I said to him, and I said on the air, I've told you guys even in the past, I'm not out that often in restaurants, but when I am, the servers are happy because I tend to over-tip. Because I recognize what kind of a difficult job they have, and I try to make it a little bit easier for them whenever possible, which means a little bit more tipping to them. Tornado watches all night. That's what you had in Bama? Did you get any? Did you get any tornadoes? You wish to get plugs and hear what all people talk, Rob Suka says. Sheila here. I think I also saw Linda here from the township. So two of our Michigan representatives, what we call the Hal's Angels, here today with us to listen to Johnny and Steph and find out what's going on from the Genesee County Humane Society and Animal Control. They're different. Genesee County Animal Control, which is different from the Humane Society. And give you a chance to look at Ruby. Ruby's a Springer Spaniel who lives in San Diego, California. This is Ruby. The Springer Spaniel lives in San Diego, California, where it's always 75 and sunny all the time. There you have it. In Finland, you don't need to give tips in restaurants. Really? So they must pay their servers a lot better than they do here. That's interesting. Aw. You don't tip in the restaurants.
Yes, all homemade smash burgers, pizza, fish, and chips. And they do catering for any occasion. They're open 7 days a week. 7323 Dixie Highway.
What's going on the road here?
401-6100. Make sure you check out Green Acres on Facebook.
Still got our one problem we're looking at here, so we'll get to that. And I want to tell you about somebody who noticed Jacko on our walk yesterday afternoon.
Your family wants and needs, and with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Here's a fresh deal on produce. Whole seedless or seeded watermelons are on sale for only $3.99 each.
30 days left until the actual arrival of summer. We are getting close to the unofficial arrival of summer, which happens this weekend, Memorial Day weekend here in the United States, which means that after today, tomorrow, and Friday, we are off for 3 days from the show and the live stream.
23rd from 3 until 7. Admission $3. Regular hours are Saturday and Sunday, May 24th and 25th from 9 until 4. And admission is just $1. The Weekend in the Country Shopping Festival is the Saginaw County Fairgrounds on Pete Road in Chesaning Memorial Day weekend. For more information, check SaginawCountyFair.org.
Join the highly satisfied customers that request
Hear about George Wendt. Yeah, we were just talking about that on the air not moments before we started the live stream, actually. The popular character Norm from Cheers. That's kind of where, when Johnny used to have Norm Stoltz on Friday mornings and gave it that big Norm intro, that's where that came from.
So get your feet into the right kind of boots or shoes from the fine folks at
And, of course, the other thing's going on this weekend, and Sheila's on top of this one. Camping season starts.
Boots make happy feet. Problem solved.
All ready to go. Freeways are moving well. That's kind of a cold drizzle out there that they're moving in, but it's basically crash-free, delay-free there. In Atlas Township, we're still in the process of cleaning up an earlier crash. State Road north of Hill Road is where you find that. And for updated vehicle city traffic information, check out classicfox.com/traffic. You spot a crash or unusual slowdown, we invite you to call us at 810-230-WRSR, 810-230-9777 to be a traffic tipster on 103.9 The Fox. Who is George? George was a popular character on the TV sitcom known as Cheers, which ran for 11 seasons, and he was on all of them. He was a rather heavy-set fellow who came in, ordered a beer, and every time he walked through the door, the entire beer bar full of people would go, Norm! It was kind of like the early days of the Hellhole Saloon, basically, when everybody got together and complained about everything to their local barkeep. And in that case, it was Sam. In your case, it's me. And I see Jennifer is here on Facebook. Jennifer, Aaron, good morning. Jennifer, how you doing? Welcome to our simul stream. Pretty much everybody's on YouTube, so if you got anything that you want to pass along, I will make sure to relay it. And the folks on YouTube will see if we can get you up to date and up to speed on what they're saying. That kind of thing. Eric is, of course, making sure we know what music's going on and make sure, because you can't hear it. We're not allowed to let you hear it, the Scorpions. No one like you. Boss Lady is horrible at making sentences in writing. You know, that's kind of a popular problem now that we have texting. Nobody makes complete sentences anymore. Writing, typing, anyway. They just don't do it. Coming up Friday, again, our next opportunity to do the weigh-in and see if we can qualify you for a free drawing done by me for you for your favorite person, pet, or place. And you, hopefully, to donate something to your favorite local animal shelter. 216.8 was the weigh-in weight last Friday. We'll find out how much it is when we get on the scale Friday. The one who is closest, either over or under the weight on the scale, will be our winner and our third qualifier for that drawing. The other two qualifiers already are Sheila and Tina. Jennifer watched an episode of the Goldbergs with all the gang from Cheers that was on it. That's cool. That's cool. I'm going to assume that included Woody Harrelson. Rob Suka's still thinking 216.2. Hang in there, watch that guess, and hold on to it because I might bloat between now and Friday. I might eat too many bananas. I might eat too much candy or too much spaghetti or whatever it is. I just found out there's somebody who enjoys ranch dressing on spaghetti. She is a member of the Indiana Fever WNBA basketball team that has the much publicized Caitlin Clark. It isn't her, though. It's this tall blonde named Sophie Cunningham, who is absolutely cover model, picturesque woman who is also quite a basketball player, and she's tough. She's the enforcer on the team. When she comes back from an ankle injury, she's going to be out there making all kinds of waves with the Indiana Fever, but she's also making other waves, and that she's let the world know that she likes ranch dressing on her spaghetti. My God. Man, people. Of course, yesterday was National Rescue Dog Day, so we celebrated Jacko by taking him out to walk around the neighborhood like we always do. And he wanted to bark at everybody, and I kind of pulled him away from. You really have to constantly be on his back about everything. I'm telling you, go, move. I'm giving him one-word commands, but I'm always real stern with it. And I'm pulling him in his harness in certain directions, basically steering him around trouble. We had to do that yesterday afternoon, and I walk him through this small little park area where I always do, and this guy yells out, he's driving by in his car, and he yells out, not only is he cute, but he's well-behaved. You think he's they allow unsighted people to drive cars now in Michigan?
$1,000 Thursday tomorrow morning at 7:20. The grand prize drawing for $1,000. So stand by for that. In the meantime, we have a grand prize just walked into the studio here. Emmy, who is Steph's daughter and has recently moved out of town and left Steph hanging.
Oh, my goodness. Woe is mother.
Is in the house with us here. Somebody told me you did dirty commercials back in the day.
Oh, my word. Who would have told you that,
I
Mom?
wonder who told. She's had some radio commercial experience and a lot of other stuff, a lot of experience. Emmy's an interesting person, but you did what? Deja Vu?
No, it was teasers.
Teasers.
Was it just teasers? I think I did some men's club, too.
I think you did, yes.
So
In my younger years. I was never on stage, to be clear.
No, and this was a voicing.
Voicing,
This was an
yeah,
audio thing.
commercials.
Yeah, but what a voice it was.
Do you remember any of your lines? And let's hear you do one of those lines like you did it, so sultry and sexy.
I think it was like something about $2 long necks.
Yeah.
And it was like the, ooh, yes, yes, yes. Just a lot of that. It was fun.
I bet it was fun. Emmy has moved to the Washington, D.C. area recently.
Yeah, just north.
How's that?
We are loving it. It's so historical. There's so much history and culture and great hiking paths, and it's just really interesting. It's a lot of fun to kind of get to know.
Well, we're going to have some fun talking with Emmy about this stuff this morning, but we also have another thing going on here, a couple things. In a little while, and this is another reason Emmy's in here, because she loves dogs like her
She
brother
does, yes.
and all of us here. The Genesee County Animal Control folks, Danielle and Jody are going to be stopping by with a sheltered dog, no doubt. They have dogs and cats there. We'll talk to them about it. They've got a great story to tell about this shelter dog who started shaking whenever somebody approached, and they finally got this dog adopted.
Yeah, but it turned into a huge story for Newsweek.
Yeah, it went on. It became a Newsweek story nationally. So
wow.
we'll get to that too as we talk with them coming up here in a little while. Also coming up this hour, when we play Steph's Fox Flashback with you, you have a choice of prizes, and they're all food. All right, so you can go to Scratch Barbecue with a gift certificate. You can go to Jester's with a gift certificate, or you can take a couple of steak dinners from the Davison Eagles, part of their bike nights that they have every other couple.
Bike nights every other Friday.
Yeah, and I think they have the steak dinners all the time. I'm not sure, probably, definitely on bike nights, but
Our certificates run through August 22nd.
I'm just wondering if they've got the steak
Oh, I
night
see.
every night, or if it's
Okay.
just during bike night. I'm
Right.
guessing it's during bike night,
Sure.
because that's the promotion that they gave to us. So all of that is coming up yet this hour on the Fox Soul Morning Show. But of course, first and foremost, and this is the most important part of all, it's time.
Qualify somebody for $1,000. Jennifer saying Scratch Barbecue is so good. I'm telling you, barbecue is just the aroma of barbecue in motion. Question from Royal Rachel, do I like to camp? I like to be on a campground with people, but I don't like to camp per se. That is to say, to take an RV and go out there and do the work to get things set up and torn down and do all of the stuff that's involved in camp. I used to think that looked like it was kind of be cool. I used to look, and then I saw a bunch of people that I know and or I am related to who like to camp. Sheila knows this. There's a lot of work involved in it, and you got to like that in order to be able to have a lot of fun at that. That's a little bit maybe more than I'm ready to do, because I tend to not have much time to do things. In fact, right now I'm at the point where if I watch TV, it's for like 1 hour, 90 minutes at most during an entire day. That's it. And that's the downtime. People like to just watch TV, right? I get the last hour to 90 minutes of my day to watch some TV. It's always a game. No matter what, it's always a game. And that's it. And so I would not have time to put into what is necessary to go into successful, enjoyable camping. With me on that too much work for a vacation, says Jennifer. That can happen. You can fall into that trap, I'm telling you. And when you do, it's hard to get out of it. But that's what happens when you're pretty much responsible for everything you do, because I'm self-employed, basically. And so even when you're not working, you're always looking for more work. You're spending all that time trying to hustle up more from as many sources as you can get it, because this radio thing is cool. But Johnny keeps saying, he keeps this drumbeat going that I'm the last guy doing what I'm doing. And so somebody's going to get it in their head. Yeah, you know what? We don't really need that anymore either. It's like the guys who used to be cobblers. They don't do that anymore, kind of thing. Camping is fun, says Boss Lady, except packing the tent back up. We can ask Sheila, because she's our veteran camper here, getting ready for the season, because it starts this weekend for her and for a bunch of people who are like her, getting ready for the relaxation that is camping when you get away to a nice area and do that. And then you have to concern yourself about, if you're in an area where there's a whole lot of campers, which is what I usually see, do you get along with those people that are nearby? Or are they loud? Are they boisterous? Are they party animals like Royal Rachel is? Would you have that kind of time? Boss Lady says, shall we say workaholic? Yeah, some people might use that label. I mean, it used to be doing it because I like to do it and love to do it. Now it's because it's pretty much, that's got to happen. Now, that's pretty much got to happen. They're getting ready. I don't know if they're going to, probably going to do another song before we get anything else going here. The other thing I noticed, about Jacko, when we get home, he kind of, when I stop and analyze it, he tends to know certain words that I say, because I made this New Year's, you want to call it a resolution, I'm sticking to it still, of giving him single word or single phrase commands, maybe like two words that sound like one word together, rather than talking to him in plain English and making him search through the forest of words for the ones he understands. But then I figure, wait a minute, there are words that he does understand that I say. Yet, I don't understand any of his barks. None of them. Which makes me think he's smarter than I am. Mel is here. Good evening, Mel, and it looks like she doesn't camp. Is camping popular in Australia? I mean, we're talking about lifestyles of other countries. I just asked Rapsuka in Finland, where it's 2:30 in the afternoon right now, about their tipping policies when it comes to going to restaurants, because today is National Servers Day here in the United States. We are honoring waiters and waitresses that are now called servers. And I talked about how I tend to over-tip when I go out to a restaurant, because I realize how much of a difficult job that can be that they do, and how a demanding job it is. Rob Sukas says camping is popular in Finland. Popular.
What can we do for you?
I hope to be the ninth caller.
Yeah?
Did you count right, Steph?
I think I did, actually. 9 comes after 8, right?
She had,
Then we're good.
she had her daughter help her out.
Her shoes are off, too. She
It's
should be
9.
good.
You are number 9.
Hey, nicely done. Who's on her
Awesome.
phone?
All right, Neil, you are ninth caller. That means that you're in tomorrow morning's drawing. You're one of the last 4. There are now only 3 opportunities for everybody else to get registered at 11, 20, 220, and 520. You are registered for tomorrow morning's 720 grand prize drawing for another $1,000 Thursday, our 8th one in a row. Good luck with 103.9 The Fox. Thank you.
All right, I guess we're going to see our guest from the Genesee County Animal Control Office in just moments after the song is done. This is another day where Rachel gets to hang out with dogs, too, because they show up every week. With us, it's only once a month over here, so it's kind of a big day for us over here. We'll find out what that looks like down in the studio, and Steph's daughter, because Steph's daughter is there visiting them today from Washington. So we'll see how that's going. So the question is now for Mel also. Do you have, as a part of your practice when you go to a restaurant, tipping your waiters or waitresses? Because apparently Rapsuka says they don't have to do that in Finland. I guess they pay them better than we get our servers here. They don't make anything. They live off of their tips, basically. Boss Lady, in fact, was a server 30 some odd years ago, she says. Did you enjoy that at all? How long did you do it, and did you enjoy that? Some people actually do enjoy that, and then there's others who they might last 3 days doing it. Caravanning around Australia is popular too, says Mel Mel. Tony is here. Tony Morissette on Facebook. Good morning, Tony. You're there with Jennifer, who's also with us on Facebook this morning. Eric, not a big fan of camping. Did it as a Cub Scout. Did you learn how to tie certain knots when you were in the Cub Scouts, Eric? I never was a scout, but I know that was one of the things that you tended to learn when you were a scout was how to tie certain kinds of knots creatively. No, I was shocked yesterday when we're walking around and Jacko is, he's doing what he normally does, and I'm trying to guide him to not do certain things that he normally does to keep the peace. And this dude yells out, not only is he cute, but he's well behaved. Really? Really? You think that, huh? Okay, fine. Good. Actually, you had lots of regulars. Well, there you go. Very good. And Eric did learn how to tie knots. And Mel Mel used to be a brownie, which is like Scouts. It sure is. We had those here. We probably still do. I don't know. But I do remember going to, when I was in elementary school, having female classmates who were brownies. I do remember that. Rob Suka, Scout camping. And we talk about, for those who are joining us for the first time this morning, you don't have to tip, but you can if you want, Mel Mel says. So, okay, well, if that's the case, let's say you don't, if it's a choice, you really don't have to here, but it's really, really frowned upon to completely stiff the server. If you absolutely think the service was awful, and I wouldn't say necessarily because the food was bad, because they have nothing to do with that, okay? It's just simply focusing on the service that you get from the server. You can't really take the quality of the meal that you had and put that on them. They're just simply getting you what they're given to give you. But if you don't tip them, do they look at you kind of funny if it's just optional anyway to tip them? Or are they especially grateful if you do? Because we've had that situation here. It pops up every once in a while where somebody somewhere was real generous, and that server happened to be really, really good, and they meet up with the really generous person, and that server ends up having their entire life changed by some huge tip. $1,000, $200, $1,000, $1,200, 15, whatever. It's been said. Tons of times we've had that. That happens. The other servers would get so mad because they'd ask strictly for you, boss lady. You were that good. Interesting. And by the way, she also was a brownie and a Girl Scout, boss lady was. She's got quite a history. Here's Johnny and Steph, Steph's daughter, and other guests today.
At 7:33, no, I'm not making any announcements here. We do have some wild people in the studio with us. Emily Barber, who is Steph's daughter, is in the house. We have Danielle and Jody from Genesee County Animal Control.
Take you down there and let's see what's going on in the studio, okay? All right.
We wanted to feature today. You guys can see if you on our 103.9 The Fox Facebook page right now. You should be able to see Missy in the. Let me see if I get my big fat head out of the way here. Missy's under the Fox sign there with Jody. If you get a chance, come to this side of that if you don't mind, Jody. That'll be a little better. Thank you.
There we go.
We've got
Yeah,
her,
that's better.
we got her on display right now, and you guys can check that out if you go to the 103.9 The Fox Facebook page and see that. But you can always see all of these where? Online, correct?
All of them. The dogs, the cats, you can check them out on our Facebook page, Genesee County Animal Control, or our website.
You are getting very good at these media appearances. I see you all over the place now. You're on other radio stations. You're on TV stations. You're all over the place talking about this. And now Newsweek has picked up a story from the Genesee County Animal Control.
They have.
About a dog. How long did you have this dog?
About over a month.
Over a month. And every time people would approach the dog would shake.
Just actually all the time she would shake.
Oh, shaking
Yes.
all the time. And finally is Ladybug, right?
Yep, Ladybug.
And Ladybug finally got adopted.
She did.
And this became a national story. Tell us about it.
So we always have those dogs or cats that just pull at our heartstrings, right? But when we are trying our hardest as staff and volunteers at Genesee County Animal Control, trying to make these animals feel comfortable to the best of our ability, and you see them just scared, right? Where they're supposed to be comfortable.
Sure.
It really tugs at our heartstrings. So the staff and volunteers are always trying to just get them out there into the community, get them out there into the world to try to find that connection, to find that adopter or that rescue. And Hannah Peterson, our social media coordinator, this dog specifically spoke to her, and she wanted to just get her out there into the community. And she's like, I don't know what else to do. We have to show what they're like, that true side, that shelter reality.
Yeah.
And her displaying that shelter reality, I think, is really what got Ladybug that forever home.
Wow. Well, this one's beautiful. Missy's a mix of some sort. It's a terrier, no doubt. She's a little thin. She's got white socks, white throat, white muzzle, and otherwise a tan animal. If you can't see her right now on our...
I've got her.
Facebook page, yeah, Jody, Steph has kind of grabbed a hold of her now and taken over.
Please remind me that we don't have room for any more.
No more.
Well, you've already got a foster at home.
I do, yes.
And how's that working out?
Lovey is the best dog. And again, one of those dogs that was kind of struggling in shelter.
Yes.
Right.
I took her home. The weekend was kind of... I've had her since last Thursday.
Right.
So the weekend was kind of chill. She was just getting used to us. But she knows now this morning where the treats come from.
Love it.
She can get up on my bed.
All right.
And I had a 5-gallon, you know those Home Depot buckets?
Yeah.
The orange ones? I had a bucket full of chew toys. They've all been destroyed. I did nothing but pick up stuffy stuff yesterday.
Pieces and parts,
She's chewed the butts out of all of them.
It's her house now, stuff.
She was doing zoomies in the yard last night. I saw her wag her tail for the first time. She barked for the first time yesterday. And it's just so cool to see them bloom. And I didn't realize until I did some more reading on your foster program, not only does the foster program get dogs out of the shelter, but it gives you guys a gauge as to how to place them for a forever home. You know, do they do well with cats? Do they do well with other dogs? Can they handle kids? Can they handle an active household or something maybe a little more chill? Those fosters are so important.
We can't do it without fosters, and we are always needing cat and dog fosters at the shelter.
Very good. So anybody who wants to be a foster does what? Calls you, stops in?
Call, stop in. You can email us, and we will actually send you the application very quick, easy, and our coordinators will reach out to you.
Tammy is awesome.
Thank you.
How do adoptions work now?
We're still not doing appointment. We're not requiring that you bring, everybody in the household. Some dogs will require that just to make sure, it's going to be a good fit. But you can just come up anytime during our shelter hours, Tuesday through Friday, noon to 6, or Saturday 10 to 2, and we will just connect you with an amazing adoption counselor like Jody as well, and we will find someone for you.
Jody would be my choice, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
She's awesome.
She's always taken, though, when I drop by. She's that popular.
Hey, apparently, for those of you up in Saginaw County, the Animal Care and Control folks up there have opened a brand new state-of-the-art surgical center over on Bay Road. I don't know if you guys were even aware of this.
No.
They opened this on April 30th, and apparently this is a great place to take your pet if you have a pet that needs surgery. This is a great opportunity for a state-of-the-art surgical center in our area. It is in Saginaw, not Flint, but still
Nice.
available to
That's
the area.
incredible.
So there you go, just a couple things. And Danielle and Jody, you can see them anytime over at the shelter. You can also stop in. Besides needing fosters, they need volunteers to walk dogs and take care of them over at the shelter, Genesee County Animal Control, correct?
We do fostering and volunteering at your convenience, right? So there's no time commitment like there might be with some other places.
All right.
We have some people that are just home for the summer and just come volunteer for the summer.
Yeah.
They do a great job over at Genesee County Animal Control. Check out the album of pictures. There's two of them, one a cat album and the other a dog album on
Yes.
Facebook under Genesee County Animal Control.
Absolutely.
And you guys, you have a fundraiser or a donation drive this weekend coming up?
Yes, we actually have a couple of exciting things at Genesee County Animal Control. We have, you guys know this weekend's Dog Bowl. Exciting
Yes.
in Frankenmuth. And then we have an adoption event at Goldenrod Disc Golf Course, raffles, prizes in Davison. That's actually next June 7th from 9 to 2. So we're excited about that. And then Luke Day. So Luke Day is just a family fun day. It benefits shelter animal donations. And again, They directly help our animals, our fosters, and more.
I guess I didn't quite hear that. Are you going to be at a dog bowl in
We
Franklin?
are, yes. We're
Okay.
going to have a table.
right.
Jody's going to be hanging out. Come say hi to us.
Yeah, it's just a great opportunity to meet these folks and talk to them about the animal control setup that they have. They have a beautiful facility over there. They take great care of the animals. How many you have right now? Do you know?
We are right at about, I'd say, 100 dogs and cats total. A lot of moms and kittens have been coming in this week.
Things have gotten a little better for you.
Yes, they have. Oh, Johnny, where's the wood? Let me knock on some wood.
You've gotten a lot of puppies, though, haven't you?
Oh, yes. We just took in 6 on Saturday right at close. I'm talking, guys, 5 minutes till the,
Well, puppies are what a lot of little kids want, so mom and dad,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
We put them right into a foster home because we're like, oh, they can't stay here while we're closed.
Yeah.
Good
Puppies
point.
need to be socialized.
Yeah, good point.
Hey, can we just go back to fostering for a minute? Because I think, at least for me, I thought fostering had to be like a long-term commitment, but it can be as simple as a day trip.
Weekend day trips, yes. We absolutely do those.
All right, beautiful. Thank you very much for stopping by.
And
again
Missy,
today.
don't forget about Missy.
Yeah, Missy's
She's
available,
beautiful.
folks. And I don't know how well you were able to see her today on our camera, but if you want to go to the album on Facebook, you'll be able to see Missy.
She's
as
very
well.
young and dog friendly.
Yeah,
How soon will she be ready to go?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, all right.
she's just maybe a year and a half at the most, I would say. She's a little small. She needs some nourishment,
Yes.
but she will fill out. I know because I've had a couple of these.
I think Fluffy's gained some weight too, actually.
So thank you very much, you
Thank
guys.
you.
7:41 our time. Stand by. Steph's Fox Flashback is immediately next.
Well, that was cool. Hopefully that is going to be a dog that gets a home before the next 48 hours are over with. That'd be cool. We'll get to the traffic here in a second. For those who weren't aware that young lady who was standing over Steph's shoulder in the blue sweater is Steph's daughter. That's Steph Jr. And away goes the dog.
Drain blockage or sewer problems? The Goyette Sewer and Drain Team is your answer. The plumbing experts at Goyette will videoscope the problem, then can use pinpoint hydro pressure with their
See where we're at here with this
state-of-the-art
crash. It's
blockage. Avoid
still an issue.
steps with our drain maintenance.
So we'll get to that.
Just poke at the problem. Eliminate it with the Goyette Sewer and Drain Team. Trust the name that's been servicing Michigan for over 90 years. Goyette, plumbing, heating, cooling.
Tell you about the fact, for those of you who are new to our live stream, we are broadcasting from Flint, Michigan, USA, the home of the formerly crappy water, and the city that is on the rise. And I want to tell you in what respect in a minute.
Family, expanding your kitchen or your customer
Flint officials are
for friendly service,
kind of,
local expertise, and
I don't want to say puffing their chests out, but it was a good day for them the last 48 hours to find out some things they've been finding out.
Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Looking for a hassle-free car buying experience? At RPM Auto Sales, we offer special financing for everyone, regardless of your credit history. Say goodbye to expensive full-coverage insurance. With RPM, you only need PLPD. That's all. Saving money while cruising this summer. Why are you waiting? Visit RPM Auto Sales today and choose from a selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. Our team's here to help you get the car you need at a price you'll love. Your road to summer adventure starts at RPM Auto Sales. Now that it's spring, the new
Yeah, there's, because of this being the holiday weekend coming up, Memorial Day weekend, there's always a big thing going on in Frankenmuth, which is called the Dog Bowl. And I was out there for one of those several years ago. It's just madhouse. And they do have wiener dog races where they take these dachshunds and they race them, and that thing is just comedy and a half when they do those. Johnny used to be one of the co-hosts of that. Plus 9 Celsius in Finland right now. Plus 9. 48 Fahrenheit. 48. Sheila was flipping through the channels. Did I hear what Netflix is doing? Kept going, so didn't hear it. Do I know anything about what Netflix is doing? Regarding what? I haven't heard anything about Netflix popping up lately. Are they expanding? Are they disbanding? Are they changing their programming to all sports? which would be cool, or something else. I don't know. I'm not up on what Netflix is doing. I don't have Netflix, so I don't even know what they program anymore. I will say this, having to do with sports, though. You've heard this situation about the 72-year-old football coach who's been dating the young gal who's 24. Bill Belichick used to be the coach of the New England Patriots when they were winning Super Bowls every year. 72 years old, maybe 73 now. He's dating a 24-year-old, Jordan Hudson. He's now engaged to her. He is now engaged to her. And by the time you got back, they were done, so you thought there might be some kind of big news that you missed. Nothing has broken to the point where it's overtaken everything going on right now that I'm aware of yet, although if something comes up, I will be sure to mention it. I will look for it. Only thing happening right now continues to be our problem in Atlas Township from an earlier crash on State Road north of Hill Road, and they're still working on getting that thing taken care of. No other problems to tell you about at the moment, and if you happen to spot one and tell us about it, we encourage you to do that at 810-230-WRSR. That's 810-230-9777 to be a traffic tipster right here on 103.9 The Fox.
Yesterday, a heavy marble statue that was placed on his gravesite in a Paris cemetery in 1981 to mark the 10th anniversary of his death, and then stolen 8 years later, has been found by French police while they were investigating an unrelated crime. Wow. Now, this is part of the statement. During an investigation conducted by the Financial and Anti-Corruption Brigade of the Directorate of Judicial Police of the Prefecture of Police under the authority of the Paris Public Prosecutor's Office. Good God, what a mouthful. This iconic symbol for the singer's fans was recovered, adding that it had been a chance recovery, and it's not clear yet if the recovered statue will be placed back on the gravesite. And actually, we tried to find that gravesite when my friend and I went to Paris. Couldn't do it. But let's get into it. That marble statue belonged to Jim Morrison. Here's the Doors with Strange Days on 103.9 The Fox.
Okay, Chris reports that they bought the streaming rights to Sesame Street. Okay? From whom? Where was Sesame Street before? Again, I'm not one who is up on the streaming services and who has what. Because of having YouTube TV, everything is kind of funneled through certain areas to get to me. I'm not ever even sure when shows are on whatever channel they are. I'm basically shown the show, and if I want to see it, I can see it wherever the hell it is, and I don't ever know where it is. One thing we know is that where he is on Facebook right now, and we used to call him, sometimes still do, Packer fan, but there's Russ. Good morning, Russ. Sometimes known as Packer fan, always known as the fisherman extraordinaire. Kind of a lousy week to do it, but you can still do it. It's not a comfortable fishing week, but you can still do it. But he's here with us now, for those who are on YouTube and can't see him. Good to see you once again on National Servers Day, where it's 49 degrees, and we're talking again moments ago about the fact that the football coach of the New England Patriots, former football coach, Bill Belichick, he's now head coach, University of North Carolina's football team, and he's also apparently now engaged to this gal, Jordan Hudson, who's 24. Not much fishing happening today, says Russ. Yeah, I can see that. I was outside walking around a couple minutes before the live stream started, and it was kind of just a really, really annoyingly cold drizzle that was going on out there, at least around here. And back at you. Good to see you once again. Have you gotten a lot of fishing in so far? I know last week there had to be some because you had about 3 straight days of 80 degrees plus to do it. So there's always that opportunity to do it. And there will be a lot more coming up. It's just that right now we're in that transition period where sometimes it's just stubbornly staying in the cooler conditions before we get back into 30 days from now will be the official start of summer. So there's going to be that to look forward to. And we're also looking forward to the hockey playoffs, a lot of them, now that they've started. We had Carolina beaten by Florida last night, the defending Stanley Cup champions, Panthers, 5-2, the final there. I think I mentioned something on the air about the Hurricanes at this point were my favorite to to win the Cup because they've been playing real tight defensively since the playoffs started, and they've had, up to now, the best performing goalie, Frederick Anderson, but he got burned for 5 last night, so there's that. Fast Cat is in repair, interesting, but expected to be back in the next week, okay? Fast Cat 1, you guys here helped name that boat, and he's getting it repaired before he gets back out on the water with that and again. Okay, here comes Pathfinder, that's Sly Man. Good morning to New Hampshire. Welcome to see you. Here now is Steph with her daughter at her side.
And I think, okay, let me clarify. So the statement that I was reading in part was from, the French are so pretentious.
Just say French officials.
Oh, French officials, all right. Man, there were like 4 different departments that wanted to claim credit for this discovery.
You've just respected 18 people in
I
the
know,
French
well,
government.
Exactly.
Listen, I've been to Paris. They are so rude. They do not like Americans.
Wow.
Even when you're trying to hand them money, they'd rather not.
Maybe that's why my mother-in-law didn't like me. She's French.
She didn't like anyone.
We could probably start with that and then go on. But actually, my radio friend Cindy and I went to Paris and actually tried to find the gravesite. They've got it pretty well hidden.
Why is that?
Just because there have been trouble at the site with unruly fans and partying and vandalism and, they try to regulate it, but it's a huge, beautiful cemetery.
Most boomers are over 65 now, so I don't think I worry
Probably
about it.
things have calmed down a lot, haven't they? Yes. Good point by you. With the trivia question, the phone number that you'll need is 810-230-9777. We've got a nice plethora of prizes for you this morning. We've got pairs of those steak dinners at the Davis and Eagles. They do their bike nights every other Friday. It kicked off May 16th, so not this weekend, but next weekend you can catch one of those steak dinners, and they'll actually be doing these all summer long. So a nice long time to use those. We've got great food from Jester's in the form of a gift certificate, and then we've got soccer tickets, 4 packs of tickets for the Flint City. Let me see here. Yep, these are kids' night at the Flint City AFC. That's the girls' league that plays at Atwood Stadium on Friday, May 30th. And the following night, we've got the Bucks with their opening home game at Atwood. And those are for Saturday. All right? So here we go with the question. Jim Morrison attended UCLA and studied which subject?
I think I know the answer to this.
Yeah, you probably
It was
do.
in the movie, if I remember.
It
right.
was, very much so, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did we mention Scratch Barbecue?
Oh, no. Good point by you. I forgot.
Yeah, Scratch Barbecue also available. Gift certificates for Scratch Barbecue if you win. And I think I may be wrong about them having been here the last couple of days. I think they're going to be here tonight,
Oh.
according to what I just read.
So we could watch for leftovers tomorrow, huh?
Yeah, I would hope. Roy Moore doesn't steal them all.
Right?
Yeah.
Good morning, the Fox. Do you have an answer for us? I'm going to
Hung
take
up.
okay.
They hung up, boy.
Good morning, the Fox. What did Jim Morrison study at UCLA?
Film school.
Yes, film school it was. Nicely done. I was going to make it a multiple choice question, but you came through for us.
There you go.
Nicely done. Who's on our phone?
Jay.
Jay, what are you doing this morning?
I'm headed to the work.
Can you give him a shout out?
I prefer not to.
Fair enough.
He doesn't like his boss either.
He's 3 minutes late.
All right, did you hear your choices of prizes here this morning?
I did. I'm going to go with the Jesters.
All right, perfect. I'm going to put your name on that. You hang on tight. We'll get some info off the air. But who just hooked you up with great food from Jester's?
103.9 The Fox.
Perfect.
Okay, I mentioned a little bit ago that time does not permit me to ever watch very much more than about an hour to an hour and a half of TV per day. It's usually the last hour to hour and a half of TV before I go to bed, so it's always a game. What's your favorite TV show right now? And especially since we're talking about streaming services, I don't know what's on Netflix versus one or the other, whatever. What TV show or shows are the ones or the one that you tend to gravitate to all the time when it comes time to watch TV?
For Genesee County Armed Forces Resource Rally, happening Saturday, June 14th, from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m.
We'll get to the news is coming up here. I want to tell you, too, about the fact that Flint has had some decent news lately. One, the fact that population for the first time in 25 years has actually grown That has been a problem for a quarter century, ever since GM moved out. It's been dropping. And then the last census reading to come out showed that we actually have a few more people than, with less than 100 more than we had the last time it was counted. But still, anytime you're turning a trend, it's like trying to turn an ocean liner that's in one direction. You want to turn it around, go back the other way. That's kind of what's happening for Flint. They're trying to get back to respectability again when it comes to that. So there's that. And there's also the fact that Wallet Hub's survey shows Flint as the nation's city with the most affordable home prices. If you want to move into Flint and help its revival, it's now the time to do it, because homes have never been more affordably priced, according to Wallet Hub, which says they basically use the cost of homes and their maintenance to tax rates and vacancy rates. Those are the criteria that they use to determine the survey. That comes to you saying that Flint is the nation's most affordable place now to buy a new home. Any other radio stations in Flint? There are several radio stations in Flint. In fact, the fellow who used to be the program director of our radio station and used to do our afternoon show is now doing mornings at one of the other radio stations in Flint. Tina is watching Leave It to Beaver, which is a very old show I watched as I was a kid, and she's watching that these days lately. Eric goes with Murder, She Wrote with Angela Lansbury. Remember that one? And Tina is also making potato salad, coleslaw, and deviled eggs. Of course, tomorrow we're doing our time over at the Hal Hole Saloon, where everybody knows your name. Just like in Shears, it used to be the case. That is the case with us at the Hal Hole Saloon. We'll be on, again, on Instagram. Hal Maas _news is the place. Friday, back to our simul streaming again for the Friday morning Primal Scream and all those things that we do on Friday, and also weigh-in. We'll find out who our third qualifier is for the free drawing that I will do for you if you are the winner of the contest that we're doing here. It's our Friday morning weigh-in. We'll find out who's closest to the scale that shows up and what the reading is when I get on that thing Friday morning. Join Tina and Shebop as our two qualifiers. We'll have 5 that will eventually be in the running for that drawing. All of that's coming up. Sly Man will be there. In fact, his birthday is Saturday, so we need a virtual cake made for Sly Man's Saturday birthday, because we won't be on. In fact, this is the first 3-day weekend we're going to have since New Year's, because it's the first break in the schedule. With this being the Memorial Day weekend, we won't be on next Monday to be with you guys on our simul stream. We will have a day off, not only from the show on the air, but also here on the live stream. That's next Monday, because of it being Memorial Day here. Slyman thinks Tina's going to make this cake. She hasn't really said anything yet, so I don't know. Rapsuka's next month, so we're going to have to save up our pennies for that.
We'll have that available in the next hour, so stick around for that. On top, we got a lot going on around here today. One of them is we want to remind everybody that we've got an auction coming up on the 29th for the TimberTech deck package from our friends at Iverson Lumber, and this is going to be a great big deal going on. So if you go to the foxbigdeals.com website and click on the far right, you'll see auction at the top, on the menu.
Under the category tabs there,
exactly. And just, if you click on that, you'll get the description of everything that is going to be in this package when you start bidding on it, when the bids begin here. They'll start at $4,900, but it's like almost a $10,000 cost.
It's $10,550.
It's a big deal, my friend.
It's a big deck.
And hey, speaking of big deals and not big decks, that's just where Steph always wants to go. We've got some voting going on here that's going to happen at the NFL level, Hal, and it's over. The Lions are involved in this, too, because they've asked for a rule change. And there's the big rule change, the tush-push, that they're going to be voting on, Hal.
Mm-hmm. The Packers are the ones that want this to happen, and the Eagles are saying, you guys are just jealous because we're the only ones that are good at it.
What is a tush-push?
All right, so say you're goal line stand and your quarterback grabs the ball from underneath the center, and then there's usually a huge bunch of defense and offense, and they meet in one almost immovable line what's going to happen is now the offense comes up behind the quarterback or whoever has the ball and pushes them through.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's called the tush push, and it's a little ugly, but
So it's kind of like a mob mentality in a way.
it is, and there really should be no rule against it in my thinking, Hal. This is just another play, and they're really not violating any rules, right? I mean, other than
They really aren't. And in fact, once upon a time, it used to be illegal to help a runner, either to push him or to pull him. But because the officials kept complaining they could never see if it was happening, they decided to quit trying to enforce it and just not even make it a rule anymore.
Yeah, so there you go. So they're going to be voting on that. And of course, the Lions have this thing about the kickoff, I'm sorry, it's the advancing for a first down. That's what it is.
Yeah.
On a penalty. So say they're 20, well, I can't even describe this. Hal would probably do a better job of it. But basically, it has to do with the fact that sometimes if you commit a penalty on like a 20 yards, third down and 20 yards, and the guy goes like a yard, and you commit a penalty against it, they get first down, and they don't want that anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
They want that to stop. So that's what they're working on at that level. That's going to be going on with the NFL talks and the NFL voting today, I think, Hal, if I'm not mistaken.
And the other thing is that the NFL is now going to allow their players to play flag football in the Olympics.
Yeah, and I was just about to bring that up. This is the dumbest idea I've ever heard. So you're going to take a $30 million a year guy, and you're going to risk him getting hurt. This is Ben Roethlisberger on a motorcycle all over again, Hal.
Yeah, it's stupid, but that means that's what they're doing for their All-Star game now.
Yeah, I know, and they shouldn't do that either.
No.
You're going to wreck good. They could even be wrecked forever in a stupid play.
The difference now, they do play flag football as their Pro Bowl, but that's just kind of like a good time for all those guys who played a real rough, tumble season. Now they get a chance to have a good time. When they go to the Olympics, this is supposed to get to be serious competition because now you're playing for your country and you just might get hurt.
Yeah, some huge giant from like Luxembourg. It's going
Monrovia.
to take out Jameson or somebody. It's going to be terrible. Not going to be good. So I don't know why I know why they agreed to this, though. I'll tell you why. There is a reason for all of this. The reason that they're going overseas to other countries is to market NFL to other
Countries.
Now they want people to pick up a football. They want the kids to be playing football. So if they see flag football in the Olympics, quite possibly these kids in Europe and wherever else they are in the world
Will come to their senses and not make soccer football anymore.
I love that. Thank you.
Well played, Hal.
Perfect, Hal. Perfect. Let's head over to the Hal now for some more pithy statements. Real news.
5 things you should know from 103.9 The Fox. It's brought to you by BioStar Services. Fire, flood, biohazard, or more. BioStar Restoration Service can quickly restore your home or business as good as new. BioStar is independently owned and operated with 24/7 emergency service and discounts to veterans. Call BioStar at 844-424-6782 or online at restorationbiostar.com. Live pipe bombs found this week in an abandoned vehicle in Saginaw. Police saying it was their canine sniffing skills that led them to Monday's discovery inside an abandoned truck that had been hauled to a record service on Hess Avenue. Explosives now believed to have been abandoned at a Westside Saginaw residence back in March. Those devices were later safely deactivated and destroyed. That incident remains under investigation. It's word that a substance thought to be diesel fuel has been contained in the Cass River in Frankenmuth. First reports of the river's unwelcome contents surfaced on Sunday night near the Damel Road Bridge, and that the initial sheen became present roughly 3/4 of the river. Environmental workers using booms and absorbent pads eventually managed to capture most of that substance. If you are a Social Security recipient, the Senior Citizens League is cautioning you to brace for the lowest cost of living adjustment in the past 5 years. The nonpartisan Senior Advocacy Group forecasting an increase of just 2.4% for 2K26, which, if it happens, would mark the lowest COLA hike since the 1.3% adjustment back in 2K21. Tigers beat the St. Louis Cardinals 5-4 last night. The Great Lakes Loons back in action this morning at 11 on the road against the West Michigan Whitecaps. They play that one over in Comstock Park near Grand Rapids. And to cap this one off, tonight's Powerball jackpot is $146 million. And with no winners coming out of last night's Mega Millions drawing, that jackpot rolls over to $154 million for Friday night. That's 5 things you should know from 103.9 The Fox.
103.9 The Fox.
Forecast calling for showers and the possibility of some patchy fog developing from late morning into the midday hours today. Temperatures expected to only reach around 53 degrees with northeast winds at 10 gusting to 21 miles an hour. We're likely to get more showers tonight with a return of some patchy fog overnight and down around 47 for the low. Tomorrow, expect more fog appearing right around the conclusion of your morning commute. Cloudy skies for the most part otherwise, about 54. And then for Friday, we're looking generally cloudy with showers possible and about 55. Right now it's 48 in Flint and in Saginaw 47.
So there's a great line in our Facebook chat window from our friend Chris Rossetti in San Francisco. He says, the tush push is me trying to get into an Uber.
All right, Journey, to kick off the hour at 103.9 The Fox, you're going to have a chance to win. We've got Stretch Barbecue to give away. Stand by.
Yes. Let's give you another chance to smile at Ruby since we've been focusing a lot on dogs this morning. Springer Spaniel is Ruby, who lives in San Diego, California. Where, as I've always said, it's 75 and sunny all the time. That's how it's always been described to me. And our pals that have arrived from San Diego in the past that we've had as Hellraisers, now and again we see them again, and they kind of concur with that. It's always sunny and 75 in San Diego, California. And Ruby smiles at that and at you. So there you go. For our Wednesday, 21st of May, it's hump day, so act accordingly as you go throughout the day. Have a pleasant, peaceful, productive day. Thank you so much for your attendance and your attention. Come on back tomorrow morning. We're going to be on Instagram at Hal Maas _news for the trip that we make into the Hal Hole Saloon, where everybody knows your name. We all know that Robsuko orders fireballs and then stumbles out of here when he's done with them. And we'll be here with your favorite beverage, maybe even a light snack if you really need that. You can pour out your troubles to your friendly neighborhood barkeep. That is me and your friendly neighborhood Hellraiser pals, who will be here as well on Instagram tomorrow morning starting at about 7 a.m. Eastern. And we'll be looking forward to you being right here with us. Okay? Okay.